Hey everybody, it's your boy Voyager, back for another video, yeah! Let's talk about the holodeck episodes. Once the concept was introduced to Star Trek, it opened up a lot of interesting story possibilities. They could go anywhere, meet anyone, and do anything. And all they had to do was say some safety protocol was disabled, and then bada bing bada boom, you got yourself a holodeck gone wrong episode. Also, in the far future, everyone is a LARPer, and that's pretty fun. Anywho, the holodeck stories were largely dictated by what standing sets were available to them at the time, because the real world is a little more limited than our idealized space future. And occasionally, if they liked the story and characters, they would revisit them in other episodes. For example, Picard's Dixon Hill program or Vic Fontaine's Lounge on DS9. Well, Voyager was always looking for their version of that, a kind of fantasy world within their world that audiences could really latch onto. What they ended up with was largely a bunch of confused nonsense. Remember Janeway's Victorian-era fanfic where she got to live out her fantasy of, taking care of some guy's kids? How about the 18th century French restaurant/pool hall or the horny 90s tiki bar? Do those do anything for you? The tiki bar was cool because apparently it was programmed with the idea that people using it wanted to be waiters in their downtime. It didn't help things that those last two examples were sets they spent some money on, so we got to see them way more than we ever wanted to. I guess the thing about Voyager's holodeck programs that confused me was that I never really got why anyone would want to hang out in these places. I get maybe Paris was attached to this French restaurant because, I don't know, his name is Paris, but everyone wants to go there? All the time?
Akuchimoya.
Janeway wants to leisurely babysit? Tuvok wants to hang in the tiki bar to bang a holo girl? Case and point, what the fuck was Fairhaven? Everyone all of a sudden has some obsession with Ireland in the 1800s? Get out of here. The only reason this happened is because Kate Mulgrew has Irish heritage, so they were like, yeah, Janeway's gonna be into this, why not give her a holographic Irish boyfriend?
Delete the wife.
There's a whole lot to unpack with that whole situation, and I imagine someday I'll get around to the episode they introduced him in. But for now, the people have spoken. I ran a poll on Patreon, and you all wanted me to cover Spirit Folk, so here we are in the stupid Irish town. Out of the way, everyone! Janeway didn't like her coffee this morning, and she's out for blood! Anyway, I don't know nothing about Ireland in the 1800s, but one factoid I've gathered is this. They're real suspicious of fairy folk. Paris mentions heading over to some castle, and Richard Reel gives him an earful of fairy advice. After sundown, that castle belongs to the Fairy Queen, along with all of their hearts, stars, horseshoes, clovers and blue moons, pots of golden rainbows, and tasty red balloons.
Computer, replace damaged tire.
Saints preserve us.
And that's our cold open. Excitement, she wrote! So Richard Reel, Ian Abercrombie, Janeway's Irish boyfriend, and, the rest, have gathered in the pub to trade newsboy caps and discuss how to incorporate more gray into their wardrobe. And I guess, if they have time, talk about that crazy thing Richard Reel just saw. He thinks it was fairy magic, and the others are like, I don't know, but I always thought that Paris guy and his friends were a bunch of weirdos anyway, so they're probably trying to kill everyone with special powers, why not? Except for Janeway's Irish boyfriend, who stands up for his gentle flower/space dictator. I tell ya, there's nothing more compelling than extended scenes of old-timey holographic Irish folk superstitiously discussing our main characters.
Well, look who's asking to be put on report.
Time to do away with the fairy talk for now, but not to worry, Detective Janeway's Irish boyfriend is on the case.
Did you snatch any children on the way into town, Katie?
What?
Never mind.
Seeing as how I did, in fact, snatch a bunch of children on the way into town, I have no further questions.
And one of those children is me!
Something tells me that's not lunch.
Whoa, don't tell me Paris is a detective too! Following this astute observation, Harry says he's bringing the flowers to the holodeck because he too would like to date an Irish hologram. At this point, B'Elanna attempts to put a stop to this nonsense by pointing out what we're all thinking. Why the hell are they running this old-timey Irish town on the holodeck 24/7? This is a massive waste of resources for a ship supposedly stranded billions of light years from home, but who am I kidding? Voyager never really cared about that. B'Elanna just hates fun. Besides, it's all worth it if the Voyager gang gets to hang out with a bunch of mutton chop ding-dongs in a pub sometimes. Time to fuck with Harry's date. I love being an asshole.
Sometimes, during the night watch.
I like to add a weird affectation to my voice to impress holographic women. Did I pull it off? Okay, I do kind of like Tom being embarrassed by Harry's dating game, though.
Would you like to hold my hand?
If you promise to hold mine back.
Douchebag powers activate! Prankin'! Oh, hang on, guys. The Doctor is cosplaying a priest and giving a sermon. At least someone on this holodeck knows how to have a good time. But he's interrupted when Richard Reel and Ian Abercrombie bust in with Harry's Irish cow girlfriend. The Doctor plays it off as another one of Tom's pranks and makes Harry's Irish cow girlfriend an Irish human girlfriend again. Prepare for fun as Irish hologram characters discuss strange cow-related dreams, or sit at the pub and chat about further odd occurrences in town. Why, it must be the work of the spirit folk!
Well, what about that Neelix fellow who runs the Ox and Lamb? Well, if he doesn't look like a leprechaun, I don't know who does.
Now that's enough, everyone! Ignore my bad Irish accent and listen up! We aren't going to run my angelic schoolmarm of a girlfriend out of town, you hear me? Her majestic bun is staying right here, safe and sound. And if anyone has anything to say about it, well, you could just kiss my shillelagh.
You've done well, my apprentice. Once you prove yourself worthy, you shall stand by my side as king of the fairies.
Well, since we're so close now, maybe you could stop turning us into cows or...
Ugh, never mind. I was always a lone salamander anyway.
Delete the Michael.
Despite his undying devotion, Janeway's Irish boyfriend is getting a little suspicious. Briefly, Janeway's possessed by a world-weary trucker.
I've been doing some checking with friends of mine in County Clare. Seems nobody's heard of you there.
It's a big county.
All right, I've had enough. You're all on report. No one is free from sin.
Well, it turns out running a holodeck program non-stop is a monumentally dumb idea, and now all of the character files are corrupted, hence why they're becoming self-aware. So naturally, Paris and Kim decide to, bring Janeway's Irish boyfriend there to fix him? Hey Harry, do you think this is a bad idea? Absolutely terrible! I love it! Hey, you're a computer program and your entire existence is a lie and a joke! Yeah, you're more of a loser than me! You there, boyo! You won't believe the shit I just seen!
We thought we'd reset his perceptual filter. Turns out he was just playing along.
Huh? Never underestimate an Irish hologram.
Never underestimate an Irish hologram indeed. It's good to see Janeway find some humor in Tom and Harry's incompetence. If she didn't consider them jesters for her own amusement, they would be dead 100 times over.
I've got a boyfriend who malfunctions.
Depending on the scene, Janeway is either 2 seconds away from murder or high off her ass. It's fun to guess which one she'll be at any given moment. Janeway mentions that said boyfriend who malfunctions is a 300 deciwatt holodeck program, about the equivalent of a refrigerator light bulb. So maybe I was being too hard on them by saying they were wasting resources. Apparently holographic Irish town requires next to no power to run. The fact even refrigerator light bulbs were too much for the ship to handle should be a little concerning though. Despite the fact they shut the program down earlier,
Shut it down.
for some reason that's never explained, Tom and Harry have to go into the holodeck while Fairhaven is running to open a panel on the wall. Oh no, a tiny net! Somehow, shooting the panel turns off the safety protocols, despite the fact if the safety protocols were on, then the holographic bullets would do nothing. Oh well!
I know how we can help Tom and Harry. I'm gonna cut off whatever dumb thing you were gonna say right now. Any other ideas?
Let's just pull the plug.
That would purge the program from our database.
Shut it down.
Michael can be reprogrammed. Tom and Harry can't.
The people of Fairhaven may not be real, but our feelings toward them are. I won't destroy these relationships if we can find another way.
So just to recap, their Irish town fanfic is worth more than Harry and Tom's lives, got it? This is all the more meaningful when you know that Fairhaven is never going to be seen on Voyager again. Don't worry, Tom. Janeway will be looking for us. Oh god, please just kill us now. Cease your hologram activity at once. Everyone knows you aren't real people. Somehow, Harry and Tom did this. After what feels like 10 million years of superstitious hologram fairy talk and some nonsense about the Doctor being integrated into the program, so now he can be hypnotized, I guess? Janeway's Irish boyfriend gets a hold of the holo emitter and manages to transport himself onto the bridge.
Oh, hell yeah. My Irish boyfriend is a way better deal than that stupid doctor. All he does is make my work harder anyway.
When Janeway suggests giving her Irish boyfriend a tour of the ship, Chakotay suddenly grows a pair, but she manages to shoot him down with a condescending smirk.
Captain?
Wasted! I love this shot here of these randos greeting Janeway's Irish boyfriend like it's a completely normal thing for an 1800s holodeck character to just hang out on the ship.
So there's the torture galley, and that's where I have Chakotay polish my boots, and here's my bedroom where we can have hologram sex while Tom and Harry are killed.
Eventually, Janeway realizes Paris is like their do-every-job guy, and they probably need him, and Kim exists, so she'll go get the dummies out. And since we never see any of these losers again, assume they lulled them into a false sense of security and then deleted the whole program. The end. This may come as a shock to you, but people didn't really like Fairhaven. There are fans who don't care for the holodeck episodes to begin with, or think it goes a little too far outside of the sci-fi realm, but all of that aside, it's a bunch of Irish stereotypes in a setting that's not that interesting. But hey, this episode was nominated for an Emmy for music, so that's something. Voyager had a lot of incredibly interesting stories featuring the Doctor that explored sentience in holograms, but when it came to holodeck characters, the show got a little wishy-washy. Either they're not that advanced of a program, or all of them are capable of sentience except for like one protocol keeping them back, in which case that's pretty morally dubious, right? Janeway definitely had some quandaries involving her Irish boyfriend, but for the most part, they kinda treated the characters like computer programs. And if you're gonna go with that, it kinda makes all of these scenes where we watch them debate about fairy folk sort of meaningless and boring. It seems ridiculous that Janeway places a higher priority on saving this program than the lives of her crew members, and it's all the more silly when you know that this story was immediately dropped. Maybe Janeway and her Irish boyfriend were just doomed lovers who could never make it work. I know this though, I was glad to see Fairhaven deleted for good.